emphasize on that. But every time it's like, how about let's talk to our senior brothers? How about let's talk to our fathers? Let's talk to about our sons. And Biko, I heard Dr. Miriam saying she has male children, and I'm sure AB you have some too. Now, what I'm saying is, from the way I've listened to these women, it means that if in the future my child happens to get married in their family, I will not cry because they look like they have been educating their kids. Please, let's go back home and educate our children. Let's train up that male child. Let's stop the narrative of training just a female child. This is the problem. This is the result of we training females and not training men.
We're
Women is
training
not
females to get married, but we're not
yes,
training males to get married to the
married.
females. We need to be training the
We're not asking
my
for some
boys need to know how to also grow up tomorrow and be married to a woman. And a lot the boys need to know that. My boys need to understand, my men, they're men now, need to understand that, but it's hard for my boys to tomorrow get married to someone and expect her to just stay in the kitchen without, because she's may not be in the kitchen because I wasn't always in the kitchen. But they do know that I am in the kitchen when I need to be in the kitchen. They do know that I'm capable of that. So what does that mean? They know that they too can learn how to cook if that's what it takes. They know that they need to know how to take care of the family. They also need to know that it is okay if their wife needs to get better, if their wife wants to go to law school and get better. Be okay with that. Understand that she may finish that law school and make a lot more money than you, but there has to be more to you than the money you make. Your leadership is not defined by how much you make. People out there, I think Dr. Precious did a talk the other day about people just out there wanting to know, well, how much do you make? Wanting to know all your personal business. It's your personal business. How much you make does not define you. What you are does not define you. What I do does not define me. My character is what defines me. If I am a woman that is caring, that is loving, that's what you want. Each one of us here want our sons to marry a woman that will come and love God first. This is my prayer as a mother of 3 boys, that I get that daughter that I never had in a daughter-in-law. I would want a daughter that puts God first and then loves my son. Now, if he puts God first and loves my son, it's kind of impossible not to love me. It's kind of impossible not to love the rest of the things that come around my son. And if that woman loves God and loves my son, chances are they're going to make sure they build with my son and build their lives together. The goal is I believe that we can say it's marriage in diaspora and all that. I think it's marriage, period. I think it's changing now compared to what it used to be before. Back then, women took a lot and just sat with it. We've clearly said that here. They sat with it because they had no choice. Now they have a choice. Whether the choice is they are in diaspora and if they file for divorce, it's going to be safe for them, like Mary here said, our young Mary said a while ago, or whether the choice is that they no longer have to sit and take their husband, bring in a side chick in the house, and they go and cook it for the side chick. Whether we want to blame that on social media, making them aware that they don't have to take it, and therefore we want to blame social media for that part, or it's just education in your worth in saying, no, my dear, you are worth more than that. And then also us educating our children, girls, to say, not just so you know how to sweep so you can go to your husband's house and sweep, not just so you know how to cook so you can go to your husband's house and cook, but so you can build a home. Building a home means building your husband, building your children. If you are a woman that don't even know your worth and you have a little girl in the house, you're going to raise that girl to be nothing. You're going to raise that girl to go in a home where she is literally shit on and it's okay. And you're going to be one of those women that tell them, just go back even if you're getting beat on. And then we're going back again to the 50s. We can sit here and think that that's just our tradition. If we look at the history of this country and some of our Caucasian colleagues, this is not new. There are back in the day families where they are literally told to go back to their husband's house. They're literally told, don't you know a woman's place in the kitchen? We act like it's just ours. It's not, it's even here. So I think over time, things have changed, but we don't want everything to change. We want the woman to go to the workplace and help support the family, but then we don't want the men don't want to support to do their part. Not all men, some of them. So I believe that that is part of the problem. And then another one is perception. I think my brother Prince said it here that sometimes when when the woman starts making more or whatever, or gets educated, the man may see it as a threat when it's not. And then his way of defending that threat is to say she's being disrespectful. Oh, ever since she became a doctor, she's now disrespectful. Ever since she got this job, she's now disrespectful. And sometimes it helps to articulate what that disrespect is. And I think there was a show that you did a while ago, Dr. Precious, about what men see as respect and what they see as disrespect. So I think it's really understanding that, because something I may do may not see it as disrespectful, and my husband may see it as disrespectful, or this other person may see it as disrespectful. And if it is something that we fundamentally disagree on, then we need to have that conversation. Because if I don't think it's disrespectful and you think it's disrespectful, we're stuck in East and West. And how do we solve that problem? And to me, those are some of the things that eventually will lead to divorce, because you continue in this disagreement of one thing over the other. And yes, some of that thing is based on how we're raised. We're all raised differently. Even families, you have siblings that are raised in the same house, born of the same mother and father, and yet they don't agree on everything. Not to talk of two individuals that don't were raised completely differently, sometimes from different villages in different towns, and then they're coming together to try to make it work. There has to be understanding, there has to be compassion. But I believe that at the end of the day, like so many of us have said in this thing, is that you got to put God first, and then you have to really, really read the Bible and apply it to you. Some of us read the Bible and want others to do what it says in the Bible, but don't want to do what it says in the Bible. Yes, we can go to Ephesians 5 and say, wife, submit to your husband. That's what it says. But right after Ephesians 5:21 and 26, it says, husbands, love your wife. I'm not God, but I know he knows what he's talking about, because like what so many of us have said here, there is none of us three women here that will be loved and choose not to take love. Okay. There is also no man here, maybe, that will be respected and feel like, I don't want your respect. But what constitutes that respect? What constitutes that love? What she may see as love, I may be like, I don't care about that. And then when but so it's understanding your partner and choosing to love them and choosing to put them first, and them understanding. And I believe that when you put your default mode for your partner should always be on the side of they didn't mean to do you wrong. Because if my partner comes and removes this cup from here that I was drinking, if I automatically think that they just didn't want me to drink, I'll be upset. But if I thought, they didn't even know I
A
was
lot
still
of
using it.
assumptions.
Exactly. But if I thought, they didn't even know I was still using it. Oh, honey, I'm still using that cup, Biko. You see how easy that would be. So there's a lot of assumption, perception that stand from the wrong side of things in the first place. And then we just keep going from there. But I believe that if we can come here, some of us came from nowhere. It used to be that we saw nursing as a traditional women's role, but our men are nurses. Our men used to be that we saw doctor as a traditional, men's role, but our women are doctors. So my point is, if both sex can come and we come here for crying out loud, learn the law, learn the tradition, learn everything and be able to adapt, but we don't want to learn each other and serve each other, because that's what it is. If we
Yeah.
learn each other and serve each other and not compare the other person, akwasina nkudi bendi na yellow fanny, yes, some men may not know how to cook, but like you said, they may do a lot more than who needs them in the kitchen, right? Some may cook, but also Don't do the other things that you really wish they wouldn't cook, and so you can, so it's all different. But the way I see it
It's
is
all
that if
different.
it comes from love, at the end of the day, you cannot cook. That's okay. But if you know that your wife has spent 18 hours outside of the house and she walks in, the last thing you want her to do is to go in that kitchen. If she goes in that kitchen, you tell her no. Even if you guys are hungry, you will order McDonald's because you know that you don't want her there. If your man comes home and he's been gone for 18 hours and you don't see, well, you know what, I'm going to have to call somebody, even if I can mow the lawn, to mow this lawn. You don't have to mow it today. To me, if you love that person, just like if you have your own child and your child has been at working all day, 18 hours,
Mhm.
struggling in the sun, they come in, you
Mm,
don't send them back in the sun. You
mhm,
tell them,
mhm,
son, you need to get some rest. You need Tylenol, you need Advil. But that son is somebody's husband. That
mhm,
daughter is somebody's wife. When they
mhm,
become a wife, does it change?
mhm,
And so I think if we look at it from that standpoint, kindness, love for
mhm.
one another, respect for one another, and then work towards it because it takes work. But just like any relationship, even your girlfriend relationship, you're my friend, but if you're the one doing all the calling all the time and I never call you, after a while, you're going to be like, you know what? Forget this heifer, right? So, yeah, marriage is
Right.
work. But when we do the work and we appreciate one another, it works. I
Yes.
don't think it's 100% the men's fault. I don't think it's 100% the woman's fault. I think it's both sides. But I think a good amount of the time we have to listen to one another. I agree with Lolo in the sense that
Okay.
a
Let's.
lot of times the man has to listen to.
Okay. So, Emeka, do you have any response to what Marian have said? Do you want to kind of
I
sum up and
totally
let us
agree
know?
with you.
One, you
Yeah.
still have some questions you haven't answered. Oh. We still want to know about the soup thing. Somebody wrote on the chat. Somebody said if you want to bala mili, drink tiger nuts juice.
Can't give it tiger nut juice.
What
You know
happened about
tiger
it? Don't
nuts?
don't know when Tiger Nut now result in a 1 minute. Ikebu. Um,
Oh, that is on the chat. So
Hey,
I think I saw that
don't
today.
maybe
knock it
Emeka,
until you
no,
I
try
thought
it.
the
maybe
Tiger
they,
Nut was for the men. Now, how is the Tiger Nut for the women now?
I
You
think
never know. It's the
So,
same process.
so kind of like summarize this whole thing, especially what Dr.
and then please before you start,
Marian said.
let me acknowledge some people on the comment section, and I want to read some of the chats because if they're putting the chats, we need to read it. Cheesy Hope, Cheesy, how are you? She said, true talk, some men are lazy. They will leave everything for their wife, both house rent, children fees, and feeding too. It's unfair. It doesn't make those men to be responsible. Rather, it makes them to be responsible. So, my doc, this is what we are passing through in Nigeria. This is the second person saying this. I'm kind of surprised because we're talking about the men in diaspora are doing this. They're leaving responsibility for women. So that means this is happening in Nigeria now because we always say in Nigeria, men take care of the bills. Are we seeing some role reversal back home? Because this is the second person saying this on the chat. So
Yeah,
that's
but
one.
Dr. Precious, please,
Mhm.
women should get up. I don't let a woman not say the man is not trying. Maybe the man has been contributing and he needs a help from his partner. Maybe there are ideas that she needs to come up with. Back home, let me be very honest to you. We always say that a woman is a provider. A man is a provider rather. Now, it doesn't mean that the woman should not assist. Now, it doesn't mean that the woman cannot save and get some money to also assist the family, right? You see, Dr. Miriam talked about team play. Both in diaspora, we need team play. Back home, we need team play. Because I've always seen where women come on social media to disgrace their men, especially back home. So I don't know who gives them that ideas. Now, I'm not saying that the ones that are commenting this are doing that. No, I'm saying in general. Now, The reason I'm emphasizing on this is because when a man cannot pay for your child's school fees, now the school fees is not centered that it is just the man that should provide. That's the error we make. That both of you produce children means that both of you, when the man fails, the woman automatically is failing. Now, if we have that ideas, trust me, it will go a long way. Because at the end of the day, this is your child, right? At the end of the day, when children grow up, they take care of their mom more because they feel like it's their mom that gave birth to them. You see where they buy kai kai for the dad, they're buying Hollandia for the mom, they're buying a lot of things for the mom because they think that it's time to help their mom out. Now it's even recently that kids are now trying to take care of both parents, right? And this is something that they borrowed from culture that was not theirs in the first place. Okay. Now all I'm trying to say is that our women idleness is not an option. Find something to do. Talk to your husband, discuss. If he's a man that is willing to hear you, because I see good men not providing. Now, they are not providing because they don't want to provide. Do you know there's something called favor in marriage? The favor I possess might not be the one my husband possesses. Do you know that? Now, it might be that the Lord has given me the oil in my hands, or He has given him the oil to excel in better areas. So I will encourage my sisters in back home, let them also assist this man. It is not just his responsibility to provide for the kids. You also share a part there. And if you're the kind of woman that your husband will let you work, find something, no matter how small, to contribute. Thank you, Dr. Abi.
Thank you so much, Lola. You have spoken well. So you are basically advising that women should step up more, find something doing. I'm an advocate of that. I mean, staying home and cooking and feeding kids is no longer an option in this day and age. It takes two. You don't want the man to overwork, so you want to help. So that being said, I think what they're saying in the comment section is that the man is now leaving everything for the woman, which is also not right. So in that case, I don't know how to reconcile that. Maybe seek counseling, maybe talk to the man's family to talk to him, because that's one thing we have, a culture where you can go to the family when a man is not behaving. That's why it's important to kind of be an ally with your in-laws, because if a man is leaving everything for the woman, that is also not right. But that being said, I pray that God gives them strength. And then we're back to, it was another thing. So John, welcome. Oloma and Zebule, welcome. We're happy to have you. Chris Mania, welcome. Nkechi, welcome. Maxi, welcome. Thank you all for being here. It's been fun hanging out with you. And like I said, please hit the like button, like, and hit that thumbs up and share so other people will come into the chat. And don't forget to give us your contribution and request to come into the studio if you actually want to come in and speak. The link is on the chat. So let me see if I can read another one before. Emeka, I know you want to speak, and I'm going to let you speak in a second.
It's
Let me
okay.
read this from Amara Udog. Oh, Amara, I disagree with you, sir. Also, I disagree with you, sir. Men are not contented with what they have because men say they can't continue to eat one particular soup all the time. That is the main reason men cheat a lot until they stop that adage. Okay, I think I've read this before.
Mhm.
Let me read another one. Uh, so-
I think at the end of the day, you know,
mm,
lack of empathy plays a big role in this divorce.
Yeah,
mhm.
Um, one, both parties need to work more towards resolution when there are disputes in relationship.
sure.
You know, and I think we need a channel or a media where marriages are more encouraged. These days, I don't see that anymore. You
Well, it
know,
depends on which one you are. They do exist.
yeah, but even if there is, it's not much.
But we're encouraging marriage here.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, thank God for you, Dr. Precious. I don't know what the world would have done without you. Uh,
I will refer you to people
Okay,
like
let me.
Odogu Kiwi. Odogu Kiwi's page. I will refer you to Odinko Number. There are
mm.
actually a lot of people right now. In fact, when you go on social media, what they talk about is marriage, 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 marriage. I don't know if you do TikTok.
Lolo,
A
since
lot of
you're
people
speaking, let me. There's a question particularly for you. He said, Lolo, the aspect you said women should look for something doing. There are some men that we say they want their wife to be a full housewife. What will that woman do after the wife have pleaded and begged the husband that she will want to be doing something?
Okay, so I talked about the last time we talked, I talked about intermarriage. If we're not following Igbo culture, many of you need to go through Igbo cosmology. Now, in the culture where I come from, I'll say this, I'll state this. There's a reason why it is not just one person that marries a woman.
Mhm.
In short, there's a reason why a woman is not handed over to her husband. A woman is handed over to her father in law. You see that? So there's a logic behind that. And now there's a
What
reason
if the
why when a
father-in-law is
woman,
not living?
yeah. So I'm gonna come to that. They hand it over to somebody that's a father figure. There will
Okay.
always be a father figure in that environment. So now, having said that, there's a reason why there are brothers, there are sisters, and there are relatives in the family. Now, it's just because our culture has been turned upside down. People use it for the wrong reasons. Normally, that a marriage works is depending on the family the woman has married. And I'm telling you, and her own family. So when things like that happens, there are people you go to mediate. It could be the elder brother, it could be the younger brother, it could be the sister. Now it could be the mother, the father, and it could also be a mentor, a friend. But as nana mama ni molo before I put an easy. So for me, I feel like your options has to be within. Now, this is only applicable for a family that is together. These days, we see families that are not together. Now, begging and begging is not the solution. You see, for me, I encourage fights in marriage. Like I encourage silence, people go silent on each other. I encourage love. I encourage
Oh, don't
apology.
encourage silence on each other. That's emotional abuse.
Dr. AB, I'm coming. It's
Okay.
not when a man speaks with anger, you answer, you can keep quiet. That's the kind of silence I'm
Oh,
meaning.
that's the
It's not
silence you
when
mean.
a
Okay.
woman is mad, you have to answer. That could go wrong ways too. So
Yes,
yes,
it can go wrong.
sometimes
Mhm.
you need to be quiet. And it's not when you ask for something, you keep pushing, you keep putting the pressure. Now, there are times where you just give ideas. There are times where you just put a play for you and your husband to watch. It could be an audiobook. Now, I've seen most of these things help. And I'll tell you how he helped. It helped. I know a man that said his wife will not do this, and I happen to be friends with the man. So what I did, I started sending him articles, what women are doing in the society, how it has helped good women, and all that. In less than 6 months, he was the one opening the business for the wife. And I tell you what, he will always say thank you. So you have to use the materials that you have to get what you want. Now, if you're married to somebody that you have known, that is your friend, there are always a way to go about things. Like me, I always say that marriage doesn't have a formula. I don't, I've always told AB that I'm the type that instead of shouting, like bantling words, I keep silent. Or instead of saying you must do this, no, Okay, baby, onke kama na many and odi okay. When you tell him that, you have also, kept him in a level where he knows that you are showing him that at the end of the day, it depends on him. Now, somebody that has empathy would do the right thing. And trust me, I don't have, if you look at me, I don't have strength to fight
Mhm.
and I don't have strength to argue. It was work for me in most cases. But now I'm not telling you that I have not in the past. I just saw that it doesn't work. So I don't do it because it's stress to me. It will just give me wrinkles. If you see my eyelid, I don't have wrinkles.
Got that.
And
Mhm.
that's why I don't even makeup is not a thing for me because I saw that I look very natural and I like looking natural. So I see that argument sometimes is just stress load. I have to look at areas for him to see me. I'm coming from, a different perspective. Then when he comes back and tell me, babe, I saw that he failed in this idea he has taken. I'm like, babe, I told you if you had done it this way. So you have to actually show him, you have to talk, communicate, 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 communicate. Keep communicating until change is not something that happens now. I think
Mhm.
many of us want something to happen right now, and that's also a problem. Remember that it takes time for any process to work. There are processes that will take quicker time, there are ones that will take later. So, my advice is going to be like, talk to him about it, learn when not to, show that you're angry or something. If he has somebody very close to him, show him things and why this is what you want to do, and let him come from his own perspective and why. Now, if he brings enough to the family, if he brings enough to the family, or maybe he's saying because he wants you to stay with the kids, ask him if it's okay for you to acquire a skill. It's okay for you to go to school. It's okay for you to spend time in several areas so you can equip yourself. Then the need will also provide itself. Thank you.
So, but what you're advising this person is to talk to him when no, don't push, and then also go to somebody that he listens to, like his father or an elder. That's what you're saying. Don't keep pushing. Just talk to somebody else who talk
Don't
to
keep
him.
pushing because the pressure most of us give in this marriage, it be it be pressure can make a man run. No, we've not. That's another topic. There are levels of
That's
pressure you
another
give a man,
topic.
you won't see him. And Uncle Christopher looks like somebody that will run. That looks like he doesn't like stress. Please, let's minimize
Yeah, yeah,
stress.
you're absolutely right about that. And
Yeah.
no,
So,
no, there's a question that is actually addressed to you here by Amara Udog. She wants to know, can I help you, Dr. Precious, and
yeah,
read
go
this?
ahead. Go ahead.
She said, I
I
want
want
to
to say
ask.
welcome to Iken, my main bros. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome,
So she was
Oloma.
saying that she
Welcome,
wanted it.
Hope.
She was asked, I don't know if you read that question. And my
Yeah.
answer to her is, or to this person, whoever that person is first of all, idleness is the devil's workshop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, if you pleaded with your husband,
Mm,
which in most cases, I don't say too many husbands or too many men stopping any woman from doing any
mm-hmm.
work in America. In most cases, they encourage the women, regardless whether there's a nanny involved or there's no nanny involved. You just have to find a way to work it out. But
Mm-hmm.
when you're saying that you have pleaded, he begged and pleaded the husband, and she wants you to be a full housewife, not in America.
Yeah.
These are really big causes, big issues here, big issues. These
Mm-hmm.
are reasons why one of the reasons why marriages just don't work in some cases. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
When you want to, capitalize and take advantage on the situation that you know is not going to work for you. So,
Mhm.
how would you feel if your husband, these women, as we hear on this group, tells you, stay at home, don't work, let me take care of the bills? As a woman, how would you feel?
If they tell me, stay at home, don't work. Honestly, I wouldn't like it because I would like to,
To get involved?
I would like to have myself feel like I'm contributing to society. And I
Yep,
would like to know that should anything happen, for example, should my husband, God forbid, should anything happen to his business where, let's any husband, I'm not even going to use my husband. Let's say the man's business gets a little bit of a little bit shaky. The
yeah,
woman will be able to step in and take care of things so the family can continue to move.
yes.
Everything will not stop
Thank
because
you
the
very
man
much.
have a little, yeah.
But
So
in some
I
cases,
wouldn't like it based on
in
that.
some
So,
cases
so
with some
let me
women,
answer you too. In some cases, we're not praying for our spouse to go home early. In some cases, whether the woman or the man, the reason why they should be working. If a woman has not learned how to pick up most of these issues, it's a problem. I believe
big,
marriage will strengthen each other where we are weak. So
Mhm.
if one of them goes home on time, it affects the next person. And that's why that the both of them should be able to bring in income. For me, before I got married, there's something I discussed with my husband. I can't just be a housewife. It's not gonna work because I'm emotional. I'm a, when you come to ambition, I'm one of those women that is ambition. I'm ambitious, right? I'm a go-getter. So if I feel stuck in a place, it's gonna affect everything. It's just gonna make me so quiet that you won't see the best of me. But when I step out the door, go to work, I feel productive. For me, it's something I feel productive. I feel that there's something I'm doing for the society at large. So it makes me feel more happy than, being at home and not contributing to nothing. I'm not going to feel accomplished. So for
thank,
me,
thank you very much.
that can also lead me to say I'm done. That can also lead me to say I'm done. But I'm still going to try all the materials. And you said, there was something you said, sir. This thing you're saying happens here in America. It happens where a
Yeah.
man don't want his wife to work. And maybe that man is not contributing enough. And then that's where you see majority of the problems. Thank you.
And I want
Yes.
to specify, Amara is making us to understand that the question was for somebody in Nigeria. So everything we're saying still applies to women in Nigeria, correct? Okay.
Well, I wasn't sure. I'm not sure. But whether the women in Nigeria or the ones in diaspora, at the end of the day, I don't think any woman should be contented into just not doing anything. I think
Mhm.
working and being involved in family affairs helps,
Mhm.
helps encourage a healthy relationship, a healthy
Yes,
marriage.
and helps the man live longer because I think
You know,
some of the reason why men go easy is because it's too much pressure on men. They have to
unnecessary
make
pressure.
sure
And some women feel so, you know,
entitled.
right, like they feel so contempt that they just don't feel that they have to work. And it's not the case, especially not in America. I mean, you can get away with that in
In
Nigeria or whatever
Nigeria.
else, but here it just don't work like that. And this is one of the biggest causes of divorces in the diaspora. When they
Mhm.
bring that mentality over and think that they're not supposed to or not supposed to do that, it just doesn't work. And it's not going to work. Not even in my world, you know?
Mhm.
So,
Mhm. It's conflicting though. We're trying to round up now because we're trying to round up by 4:30, so we have about a little above 15 minutes. So, but I think I'm hearing some kind of conflicting themes going on because I was thinking the reason why marriages fell in diaspora. A lot of people blame women, that women, they come, they go to school, they start working, they start making money, they don't respect their husbands anymore. And now I'm hearing, I'm understanding that some women that are doing that too, that don't feel like. So I guess in the case of women, it's not so much that they're not working, they're working, but they don't bring the money home. Because there's some women that think my money is my money, your money is our money. I
Exactly.
think we mentioned it last time too, which is totally wrong. It should be my money is our money, your money is our money. Otherwise, the way I look at it sometimes, me, I look at it in terms of this man that I'm married to. Sometimes I don't want you to work. I want you to rest. So I think it still goes back to love. If you love somebody, you want to preserve them. You want them to be good. You don't want to see them go through pressure. So you kind of find ways to take away pressure from them. So I'm guessing the when a family that is having this issue, look at it very well, there may not be any love going on. It may be somebody who just here, like I think somebody said in the chat, Solomon, something about that some people get in a marriage just for whatever they will get. Whatever, some for papers, some for money, some for whatever. But two
Exactly.
people that are there to serve each other, you shouldn't even need anybody to tell you that you need to contribute financially.
Exactly.
You know, before you go and buy somebody's son or somebody's daughter, it goes both ways. Works in the bank. So, but anyway, so
So,
maybe you
Doctor,
can round up for us. We really want, as women, we really want to, we really want to hear from men's perspective, because a lot of women are struggling. I know some women that are single, they're divorced, they want to remarry, and they're afraid because they don't want to remarry and have to go through the same thing, another divorce, and then it will look like they're a problem. I know of a woman that even the second marriage is having issues again. And now in our culture, it's already a stigma to divorce once. Now to divorce twice, hmm, you might as well go ahead and condemn yourself.
yeah,
You know,
but
so we
it
as
still
women,
happens.
we really want to hear from a man, like, what is the problem? What should we do to reduce this rate of divorce? Divorce. Do you know, if I after this chat now I may make a call and somebody will tell me another couple have divorced? Is as rampant as water now. Divorce everywhere. What is going on? You know? So yeah, Emeka, go ahead and conclude.
So at the end of the day, I think we need to be more active with the Lord's word. You know, God first. I think
Mhm,
is a lot of people are shying away from the true word of God and what it entails. And we really need to, we talk about following our parents' footsteps. And if you guys remember how prayerful and the early morning prayers that we had that kept the
mhm,
family going, I don't see those anymore.
mhm,
Yeah, we're in this Western world going to church and whatnot, but the
mhm,
true value of family togetherness is fading away. So
mhm,
prayer first, and always, be truthful to one another. Communication
mhm,
helps a lot, and
mhm,
empathy. These three things will play a very long role in longevity of every marriage out there.
mhm,
And you know, let's focus on more channels that can encourage marriage, not divorces. Some
mhm.
people probably there are probably people out there that can't wait to hear the next divorce case. You know, and it just seems like it's fun to some people, and it shouldn't be. So
Yeah.
let's try to find a way. The solution is, like I said, these few things I mentioned. God first in everything we do, especially in our family, and try to communicate more often and forgive
Mhm,
one another to the best way
mhm,
you know how to. You got to forgive, pray, pray about your shortfall, and work on making it better. So I think those are the things that I can add to close this.
Then, in terms of the cheating, what do we as women need to do or not do to make sure our men starts enjoying one soup only and not going out there to taste
Be
other
more
different type
practical.
of soup? Women want me to ask you.
Yes. So be more practical, be more loving, do the best you can as a wife. Um, you know,
So you do
try,
believe that it depends on how a man is treated, because there are people of the opinion, me included, that a man that will cheat regardless. So are you saying that is not the case?
a
That is
man.
how we treat?
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. You said it all. A man that will cheat with you, but not all men. There are just some. And then when you get to a certain age, these cheating things really start fading away. To be
Mm.
honest, when you start getting older, especially when you start approaching 50s and up, I think most of those cheating really happens in your 30s and 40s. But once you start approaching 60s, you start realizing some of the mistakes you've made and start being more content with your significant other and try to just enjoy life, work on how you both can retire and live, the rest of the peaceful life you have on earth.
Mhm.
So yeah, love one another the best way you know how to. Uh, I don't think we in our 50s are going to be having that problem anymore because I'm actually feeling like a member. So, guy, let's focus.
I don't. I'm not sure I agree with you, because what do you say about Regina Daniels' husband, Ned Nwoko, that is 70 something and just married a
He
young
just
wife?
married
What
another
do you
one.
say? Hmm?
I think in that man's case, it's a celebrity stunt for him,
But
to
you know,
be
it's
honest.
people. Do you know that the divorce is higher in people that are 50 and above?
I
That's where the
don't know what
divorce is even
he's
higher,
talking
right?
about. Yeah, the problem is 50 and above.
No, I don't think. I think the divorces are more on the younger age, not in your 50s and 60s. You
Dr.
might
Miriam,
see very few, very
can we just
few.
give her a little bit time to speak, Dr. Miriam?
That's true.
Okay, so basically, what you're
So,
saying is that choose wisely to begin with. It
yeah,
depends on,
but
choose the right
let me say
person to
this.
begin with, somebody that will not cheat on you.
Yeah,
Got it.
so let me say this. I heard him say the marriage that are failing in the diaspora are not of the young ones. In short, the young men are doing a better job than the older men.
Exactly.
If you're on social media, you're going to understand. It will surprise you that even men in their 70s are being divorced. It will surprise you that our marriages that are 20 something years are calling it over. It will surprise you that marriage that is over from 10 years are the one saying, you know what?
I know do again.
Let's just say this union is over because you know why I'm saying this to you? See, we know cheating is bad. There was something I agreed that Dr. AB said a little bit. She said, how about the only way cheating will go away is both couples that are committed to each other, that have gone into marriage with the same ideology. Now, if a man's aim is to build skyscraper in his father's house, and that's his only objective he has, that's the only thing he wants to do. And then the woman is saying, I want to go and study, right? The woman is saying, what about the kids? When they have different thinking, when the woman is thinking that, oh, the man is just enriching himself and the family, it's very difficult. And we know that that is some of the problems that is going on, where a woman is feeling less love or a man is feeling less love. They start making mistakes. You see, I don't advise women to just go and be fending for their family, men. That's why I said Igbo culture is intermarriage. You do, if they're going by being intermarried, they do what is necessary. They do what is needed, not what is wanted. Do you see? But now it boils down to how they treat each other. For me, there's sometimes I want my man to be home for a couple of days without going to work. I want us to spend time with each other, right? And that's the reason why I work and he works. But for a man that works alone to achieve that would be almost
Impossible,
difficult.
because he will continue always be working. Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. That we don't have the mindset of taking vacations. We don't have the mindset of relaxation. Some of us don't have the mindset of going to see families. And they're still educated, I'm telling you. They have the mindset of work, 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 work. Now, when somebody is working, what kind of energy do you think they will give to you? I'm asking you. What kind of energy? Some of them will come home almost every time they're upset. Some of them will feel left out. For career women, you can still be a career woman and still mind your home. You can still be a career woman and still care about the man in your life. You can still be career driven or ambition driven and still don't leave the little details untouched. Please, you can actually work with the both. Because AB, there are some career women that don't care. They just want to do girls' trip. They just want to travel to one place to another whenever they're off. They don't care about their significant
They
other.
don't, because
And that's
and
the
then the
wrongest
news
thing.
out there is that some career women, these women actually sleep with each other. And so if they're sleeping with each other, why should they care about the man? That's really the news out there. I heard that is on the
It
rise.
goes with
But
the
then,
men
if you
too.
want to sleep with each
It
other,
goes with the
why are
men
you
too that
married?
travel.
Why are you married? Exactly.
The men that travel.
Exactly.
So
That's a good
again,
question.
I think at the end of the
But
day,
it's
it
still
boils
true.
down to
That's what I
the
had.
same reason I say if you're gonna cheat, why are you married if you're going to cheat?
Okay.
Why are you going to go be with a woman, or if if declare what you are and be that.
But
Like
then
you said
again,
a
Miss
while
Dr.
ago, a
Miriam,
woman sleeping with another
you
woman
keep
is a
asking.
lesbian, but a woman sleeping with another woman and also wanting to be married is bisexual. Call yourself what you are and be that. Go live your life. Quit bringing, it's like
Okay, Mecca, you were saying?
No, she keeps saying why, for these women, why would you marry if you know your man is a cheat, whatever. Um, some women just don't really. They know all these things, and they do it anyway, only because they don't know when they will ever have another chance to get married, and then taking chances, So life is about chances, right? There's always a risk factor in everything we do. So sometimes some people say marriage is like a business. You get into this union, everything start trickling down. Who does what and who's doing what. So it's like a long-term commitment, a long-term business between a man and a woman. But at the end of the day, women if any woman that sees an opportunity to marry a man that they've been with, whether they know he's a cheat or not, most cases they try not to turn it down because, especially when the age is on their side, you know, they just accept
You
it
mean
and
when the
deal
age
with
is
it.
not on their side? Mhm.
I mean, especially age is not on their side, and they just do it anyway and deal with the consequences, you know. So it can
but then
go
in
both
those
ways.
cases, the reason for divorce, because again, let's remember what we're talking about. Then in those cases, the reasons for divorce will not be because the man is cheating, because they've already accepted it, and therefore they're in that marriage. It will not be because the man is cheating. If I marry a cheat, I shouldn't go get a divorce tomorrow because he cheats again.
Right,
I
because you should
expect that.
already know he's a cheater.
No, I
That's my
think
point. So in that case, we're back to our topic. That is not the reason for in those situations, those are not their reasons for divorce. So their reasons for divorce is still what we haven't or needs to be addressed.
Well, we have spoken
Right?
on some of the reasons, and we have
I
given
think
some examples
we
of
found we I think we found some of the reasons, and we
yeah.
also found, yes, I'm going to conclude, and we also found some of the solutions. I believe, if I'm hearing right, we all agree that yes, social media may play a very minor role, but not really. It doesn't play a big role. However, we believe financial is a big part of it, where some women feel like they just want to sit home, or some men feel like they just want to sit home and let the woman work. So, from this chart and from what we're saying, I see that it's from both genders. Some women just see they don't want to help out the man, and men are saying, we don't want to buy from working, trying to take care of you. We need your help. And then, on the
And
other hand, some women also want to sit home, and I mean some men also want to sit home and let the women work, especially in diaspora. But from today, I'm finding out even in Nigeria, and the women are saying no, like Lolo said, we didn't marry you to buy. We want to help us. We need you to take your role as a man and take care of the bills. So what am I hearing? I think it's a combined effort. Let the men stop thinking that is a woman's responsibility, and let the women stop thinking it's a man's responsibility. Now, that being said, is mostly the man's responsibility, considering our culture and considering the Bible, when the man is automatically the head. However, we need to help, especially when you see that that man is working hard, and maybe you have a better opportunity, especially in the diaspora. Women also have opportunity just as men have opportunity. But sometimes some men, it's not easy for them to go back to school. I noticed that because you see in a lot of home, the man is not doing much, but the woman is a nurse in a lot of homes. So in that situation, don't look down on that man. As long as you see they're struggling, they're working, whatever it is they're doing, no matter how little they're making, you see them get up every day, go to work, come home, give them that respect. Don't start saying because you make more money, you now expect them to come and beg you for money to eat or beg you for money to go buy something. No, you already see that there's a need, step in and solve that need, because men have ego. So if you respect a man as a man, they will naturally treat you like a queen, and vice versa. So basically, what we're saying is, let the women try harder to respect the man, even if you're making more money or not. And men, try harder to listen to the woman. If a woman is telling you, that's Lola's message today. If a woman is telling you that, I don't like this, I don't like, don't say, oh, it's a woman's talk. Listen, because most women cheat because they lack attention, they lack emotional stability, emotional comfort, and all that, not necessarily because of finances. So, that being said, another thing that I got from today, because I think we got a lot of reasons and a lot of answers today. Another thing I got is that men are visual. So men like ogbono, egusi, this they don't, and we got from our brother today that yes, women are different. They do taste different. And we talked about Ibamiri versus non-Ibamiri. And we talked about, like, there are things you can do to Miri nobo nedaba. We said it all through this video. And the other things that you can reach out in, and we can tell you these things. So, in as much as women taste different, we also go from our brother that if you treat a man well and switch it up a little bit, don't be dull, switch it up so they still get, not to say that is ever justified to cheat. No, it's not. If your woman is not switching up, now you should cheat. No, that's not it. It's just so the man will be happy with you and feel sexually satisfied, because sexual satisfaction is important in a marriage. Let's face it. Some women that are grouchy, people say maybe they haven't gotten any in a while. So we should also strive to please each other sexually. Men, by loving the woman, talking to the woman, paying them attention, because women love this. Women, the way you do it is by respecting the man and switching it up. Do your hair differently every once in a while. If make your hair, wear short cut sometimes, long sometimes. Dress yourself up, be appealing to the man's eyes, because men are visual. So if they see you today, maybe you're wearing a little bit of bomb shirt, yeah, wear bomb shirt. Don't go outside or wear it inside for him. If you're wearing bomb shirt today and he comes, he sees you, tomorrow you're wearing some tights. I don't think they're already getting their bon and their goosey. They don't need to go, they don't need to desire it anymore, because it's never okay for them to go outside. So, men, here, even if your woman is not doing these things, you walk with them, walk with your woman, and in all the things we've said today, you can get counseling, you can get help. You can reach out to elders, you can reach out to fathers, you can reach out to pastors, you can reach out to counselors, to get the help you need. The solution is not going outside to eat egusi ogbono. You have egusi ogbono and everything combined in your house, because women can switch it up, because ultimately, scientifically, all women are the same. Scientifically, all women are the same. All their parts are the same. So what makes the difference is how they bring it. And that is what you can work with your woman on to bring it. So, Ndibai, did I speak well? Did I say
You did speak well.
We sure
okay?
did.
You spoke all the spoke
So
and
now
You
we
did.
found
spoke. So you
solutions
did well.
to it. So we don't want to keep hearing divorce, 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 divorce. If everybody does this thing that we just said, men serve your wife, wife serve your husbands, help each other in your roles, there shouldn't be any reason for any more divorce. And more importantly, like Miriam said, marry somebody you like, somebody you love, and not because of any other reason like finances, papers, or work. Because if you marry somebody you like, you will not get tired. You will not look outside. But if you
So
marry
my
somebody,
question is to
Mhm,
my question is to Dr. Miriam, because
mhm.
you're the one that brought about the scientific proving. Does it mean that all men are the same scientifically
No,
when it
I,
comes
I,
to
when I mean
the
scientifically, all
bedroom play?
women are all, when I talk about all women, and it's just like scientifically saying that we all have blood running through us, right? We all have the blood running through us, like it's the same
Okay.
people. But yes, there are variations in us, right? And those variations, we come in different sizes, we come in different heights, we come in different, variety. And like, Dr. Precious said, the way you bring it, the way you present, and then there are a little bit of biological differences that are there. Um, all men are not the same. They come in different heights, they come in different sizes, right? In terms of everywhere. You talk about men, there are men that can dance. Some people will translate that dance to some other places. There are men that cannot dance. There are tall men, there are short men, there are wide men, there are all kinds of things. And then sometimes the equipment you're working with is one, but also how you use the equipment is another. So again, phallus is a phallus, but then there are different sizes, different weights, different things that how you use it is another thing. That's what I meant.
So now we are now talking equipment. Before we know it, we'll get into maintenance. before, we, before we get into maintenance, and
Oh,
we're ending. Thank you all for being here. It's been wonderful as usual. I'm
thank you
enjoying these
so much.
talks, guys. I'm enjoying it. So, and in the
And thank
process,
you for not running away from us today. I can feel enough to thank our brother Emeka. Thank you for not running away today.
You're
especially
very
being the
welcome.
only
Thank
No,
you
man.
for
last
standing
time was
by
not
us.
intentional. My barrier died. And you know this video call kind of consume more battery.
Oh, by the
And by the time I
That's
could
true.
get to the
It does.
car, it was already on 10%. Yeah.
Mhm.
We thought-
Yeah, but I'm just
So, but today I
thanking
made
you
sure
for
that I had
coming.
both the charger and the power bank all standing by. Okay, now what they been
We're ready.
Jakarta, you know?
You were ready.
Thank
Yeah.
you, thank you,
Oh,
thank
thank you
you.
all.
I'm very
And
glad.
shout out to Samadina. Thank you for being here. Amara, thank you for being here. Vivian
Shout
Decency,
out to my
thank you
friend
for being
Kofi.
here.
Thank you.
It's been wonderful hanging out with you. It's been another year, another wonderful time together, chatting, discussing, finding solutions, loving. Thank you all so much. I appreciate each and every one of your time. And until next week, may God bless you. Bye,
Thank you too.
everyone.
Ciao.
Bye.